Magandang araw po sa inyo at welcome back dito sa ating panibagong video. Mga kapolitika, meron po tayong breaking news or kakapasok lang na balita dito sa Miss Universe dahil nagresign na po sa kanyang tungkulin itong pambato ng Miss Coite d'Ivoire na si Olivia Yacé sa kanyang tungkulin bilang Miss Universe Africa and Oceania. So, di ba napag-usapan natin doon na hindi tinanggap ni Ating sa manalo ang tungkulin niya bilang Miss Universe Asia kasi nga hinahanap na dito sa mga continental queen ay sikat at kilala yung famous powerhouse. So ngayon dahil nag-resign na itong si Olivia Yacé, sa tingin ko ay mahirapan na silang i-promote ang Miss Universe dahil sa credibility issue. Dahil itong pag-resign ni Olivia at itong pagtanggi ni Atisa ay malaki po ang mag-impact nito dito sa organization. Kasi I believe na itong mga continental queen ay binuo po ito para i-promote yung kanilang Miss Universe, kasi sa tingin ko yun ang magiging role nito, bakit meron silang mga ganitong pakulo. Pero yung talagang pinakagusto nila ay yung winner. So yung winner is dapat ang mag-promote ng pageant, hindi yung mga continental queens. At kung meron mang dapat mag-promote ng Miss Universe, ito ay walang iba kundi ay yung kinoronahan mo. Kasi in the first place, sinabi ng Miss Universe na hindi sila nagdedepende at hindi maging basis yung tinatawag na popularity. So ngayon ay dapat patunayan ng Miss Universe na walang silbi yung popularity dito sa gusto nilang ipapanalo. Okay, so yun dapat ang panindigan ng Miss Universe kasi yun naman ang kailang official statement nung nagsimula ang Miss Universe 2025. So yun po, kung kaya nga itong sinawat is very practical siya at very business minded kasi pinili niya talaga kung sino yung popular na contestant dito sa Miss Grand International 2025. Kung kaya ngayon ay very successful ang homecoming parade ni Emma Tiglao dito sa Pilipinas at talagang trending, pinag-uusapan siya ng mga pageant supporters dito sa Pilipinas, hindi lang sa Pilipinas kundi pati na rin sa Latin community kasi nire-report rin po nila yung mga kaganapan ni Emma Tiglao at all about sa mga pageant. So according po dito sa pinost na transcript ng pageantology sa kanilang page, Miss Coite d'Ivoire, the COMICI Miss Coite d'Ivoire Committee holder of the Miss Universe license regrets to announce the withdrawal of its representative Olivia Yacé, Miss Coite d'Ivoire 2021 for personal reasons related to her elected mandates with the Miss Universe obtained at the end of the 74th edition of the Miss Universe International Competition held on November 21, 2025 at the Impact Arena in Bangkok. Olivia Yacé therefore renounces her title of Miss Universe Africa and Oceania effective on the date of this notice. Miss Olivia Yacé, Miss Universe Africa and Oceania 2025 will formally return her Africa and Oceania sash to the organization so that there is no misunderstanding and to attest to this joint decision done in Bangkok on Monday, November 24 for all legal intents and purposes. So ito po ang official na pahayag ng Miss Universe Ivory Coast dito nga sa pa-award nila na Miss Universe Africa. So ibinalik na po yung sash at tumanggi na yung kanilang representative na si Olivia Yacé na tanggapin yung nasabing pakonsuelo or pampalubag loob para i-promote ang kompetisyon doon sa kanilang continent na Africa. Para sa akin ay tama ang naging desisyon ni Olivia na hindi na magpagamit dito sa Miss Universe kasi in the first place dinaya ng kanila yung resulta ng kompetisyon and then ikaw pa yung gagamitin para i-promote sila dito sa kanilang continent itong Miss Universe. So parang insulto na po yun kung ipopromote mo pa yung organization na nangdaya sa supposed to be na corona para dito kay Ivory Coast. I totally agree dito sa naging desisyon ni Olivia at sana ay marami pang mga bansa ang mag-withdraw ng kailang support at ng kailang franchise dito sa Miss Universe kasi I believe na hindi worth it ang 30 million pesos na franchise fee dito sa isang cooking show na beauty contest. Agree po ba kayo mga kapolitika? At ano ang inyong magreaksyon dito sa naging desisyon ni Olivia Yacé or si Miss Coite d'Ivoire na mag-withdraw sa kanyang tungkulin bilang Miss Universe Africa? Mag-comment down below at huwag kalimutang mag-like at mag-subscribe na rin kayo para updated kayo sa ating mga latest issue. Narito po ang ilan sa mga comment ng ating netizen na pati sila ay nag-agree rin or sang-ayon sila sa naging desisyon
and let's look at those in order. So if we look at the totals, Cote d'Ivoire with a 3 and a 2.5, that would equal 5.5. We have Mexico with a 2 and a 3, that would equal 5. We have Philippines with a 3 and a 3, that would equal 6. We have Thailand with a 2.5 and a 2.5, that equals 5. And then we have Venezuela with a 2.5 and a 2.5, also equaling 5. So in that scenario, if we took the averages and I was just one judge, right? So obviously there would be many judges. If we use me as an example, my winner of the night by scores would have been Philippines, and then Cote d'Ivoire would have been first runner up. Then last we would have ties for Mexico, Thailand, and Venezuela, and that could be worked out amongst the scores of the other judges, which would essentially serve as tiebreakers, which is why you need multiple judges. Now you could also further have a tiebreaker scoring system. So like, let's say that everybody is dead tied, which I've seen that at a pageant before. Then you have a process of tiebreakers. A lot of pageants will use the overall interview score as your first tiebreaker, and then like that's how we're going to break things up. And if that doesn't work out, because I've seen that before, sometimes pageants will defer to the head judge for the night, and that head judge, their ranking of the final placements is what ends up standing. Now others would refer back to an overall score. So like, what's everybody's combined score from prelims and finals, or what were their combined scores just from that night at finals? So there's different ways of having these tiebreakers, but I really believe that this process of tiebreakers is really, really important. Based off of how I would have scored things, Mexico would not have advanced to a top 12 for me, so anything beyond that would have been like null and void. It wouldn't have even have mattered. But I'm wondering, with what we've seen, first of all, we saw that Natalie said, well, Thailand was my winner, so that's one judge, where Mexico wasn't the winner. I don't know about the other ones, but I'm curious if when Mexico made that statement about standing up and being like a woman who's remembered in history, I'm wondering if the other judges were thinking back to everything that's happened during the week, and if that at all would have influenced their decision at the end and how they would have ranked or how they would have scored her based off of what happened. Like, did they look at this from the standpoint of like, well, after everything that's happened, she should be the one that wins? I've seen crazier things happen. I've heard crazier reasons why a judge selected a certain contestant in pageants because it is so subjective. But that's why I really think that it's helpful whenever we have scoring, and especially when we're talking about stakes like this, like Miss Universe. I think it's really useful to have some sort of scoring rubric. It's really unfortunate to see how all of this is playing out, and just to see that so much of it is so avoidable. There's no reason why during a season of Miss Universe that we had so many issues going on, that there had to be so many public statements that were made. It just should not be happening at all. I'm just like sad for the contestant experience. I think it's crazy, new generation that mixes cultures, that mixes modern and traditional. I want to be the face of a new era of women that are bold leaders, that are unapologetic about who they are. If I'm Miss Universe, I want to be a role model for the young girls and let them know that you can make it. Go in the rooms where you don't feel like you belong, shine, and make sure you assume your identity. So, very, very confident answer here. I would give her a 1 for that. And then let's talk about the meat in there. I think there was a lot of great content here. She also wrapped everything up by throwing in the assume your identity that she shared with us a little bit earlier to kind of like put a bow on the package. But did she answer the question? If we're going to be very technical, she didn't head on answer the question. She shared about all the things that she would like to be and like to do as Miss Universe, but she never identified the way that she would go about accomplishing this. Would you be the new face of a nonprofit organization? Do you want to make appearances in schools? Do you want to pass legislation? How exactly would you want to empower these young girls? And I feel like if you're really going to be a judge that's a stickler on answering the question, which let me tell you, some judges, her second question. Philippines' answer was, I work with an organization called the Allen Academy, where we work with young people to provide them opportunities to make them realize it doesn't matter what your life circumstances are, it doesn't define where you will go. I want to continue working with Allen Academy on a bigger platform like Miss Universe to pursue that, making sure that people that come from low income backgrounds are given the same opportunities as everyone else. So she identified how she would be empowering young women by specifically also working with an organization. So because of this, she had a confident delivery. That's one. Now, her next part of her score, she had great content in there. She backed up her answer. And then the last part of it, did she answer the question? Of course she did. She directly told everybody how she would be accomplishing this goal. So